We want to put that on camera me falling over. My name is Jim Tinger. I'm a social worker and the youth director for the town of New Paltz, and I have been since 1995. I run the New Paltz Youth Program for the town, and I guess to your question of what we offer in terms of the topic of sexual assault, we do different things. I mean, we've had over the years, Planned Parenthood and Family both have education coordinators who do different workshops in the community. So usually on a yearly basis we have people come in and do different workshops. And one of them is the sexual assault workshop, and just kind of teaching the kids what to look for, how to handle themselves when they're out, make sure kind of a lot of safety guidelines, and that if they ever are a victim of such things, how to approach it that they should report it, that it's not their fault, all those things, and who they should try to contact, and try to make them feel as comfortable as possible with something as hard as that. We've had to deal with it here personally. I mean, we've had kids, unfortunately, who have been victimized in a lot of these instances, and usually what happens is they're either very, they're very confused and not necessarily sure. They think they had something to do with it. They think they did something wrong, and for a lot of it, they feel, either way, they feel embarrassed by the whole situation. They usually don't want to talk about it. So it hasn't been too often that I've had somebody come to me and say, "This happened to me," as much as it has been some of their friends come to me and say, "This happened to my friend. She's talked to me about it. I'm trying to get her to talk to you about it. She or he doesn't realize that it's, that this is something that they need to talk about and get out." And so it's it can be touchy. A lot of them are afraid their parents are going to find out, and that they're going to get in trouble for what happened. So it can be distressing.
How do you think that we can better educate students about rape?
Well, I mean, one thing about, I think the school districts do a good job in a lot of areas, but they kind of shy away from this area, I think, a lot, because it is controversial. It's a difficult thing to discuss in school. A lot of parents don't want the teachers or the schools to talk about such things with their kids. They just want them to teach them English and math and the basic skills. But a lot of things, I think, are not addressed, I think, the way they should be, and they're not part of the curriculum. And this is one of those things. This is something. When we do things like drug prevention in the schools, we go with the idea that, look, someone's gonna at some point put you in a situation that you're not gonna, someone's gonna offer you something at some point. How are you gonna handle it? And with sexual assault, it's rather similar. At some point, especially for women, you're gonna be in a situation that's gonna be a bit dicey. I mean, there's a good chance that you're gonna be put in a situation that's going to be hard to handle. How are you going to handle it? And if you ever are victimized, what is going to be your reaction to it, and what can be done? And I think this is important because it's a very, there's a tremendous isolation involved with it, and people need to feel comfortable to, kind of discuss what's going on. And I think as adults in the community and as educators, we need to make sure that is something that we push across the kids.
And have you ever had any kids or students come to you personally just to talk about any given case, or do you just suggest them to go to either those Planned Parenthood programs and other prevention programs? Yeah,
I mean, although I'm a social worker, I'm not a victims. I'm not a victims crisis counselor. So yeah, we do recommend that. I mean, there's a lot of instances.